Hello everybody, my name is Arturo, and no, your eyes and ears are not deceiving you. Years overdue. But the combination of, a global pandemic and wildfire smoke choking the skies has conspired to force me to stay in my house and record this long overdue final epilogue to Donors United. I mean, if not now, then when, right? So, it's been ages since we last checked in with the donors, and I promised that we would run this until every single one of the 18 donors, at least I sure hope there are 18. If I'm missing somebody, please let me know at the end of this video, had done their playing careers. And I'm happy to report, we no longer have any players in their playing careers. We have some who are still coaches. I hope I found them all. We'll certainly find out as we go through this. But let's do this in alphabetical order. Our coaches, starting with Drake Riot, currently a U20 coach at Hearts. He's gone back to Scotland after making 98 caps, scoring 13 goals for his country that either we gave him or he actually is. I can't remember anymore at this point. It's been so long. Anyway, decent stats for a coach. Nice level of discipline. Working with youngsters a bit low for being a U20 coach there, Drake Riot. Just saying. Great mental, tactical, and technical, though. Excellent attacking. Tactical knowledge is good. I mean, there's some good head coach stats in here. JPA, JPP is a little bit low, having said that. The JPA 9 he might be able to get away with. But anyway, on to his playing career. That's what we're checking in on primarily. Let's work on his A license. Good for him. That's what we're checking in on. Of course, he was with the donors. Put in some excellent work before West Ham snapped him up for the bargain basement price of $375,000. Really should have asked for more, considering that he was already at a 7.22 after 19 appearances in the 2016-2017 season. Oh, ages ago. Oh, so long ago. Anyway, he went on loan to Yeovil, where he proved, yeah, please, play me in the Premier Division, and despite getting a little bit of time, 6 cup appearances, 2 league appearances in 2019-2020, Drake Riot would soon become a fixture for West Ham in their entire stay in the Premier Division. Absolutely solid work here, even to their untimely relegation, after which he was sold for $6.25 million. Solid bit of business there for West Ham. To which Everton would then they get relegated down to the Championship in 2033-2034, but they would sell him to Reading for $2.5 million, and they would stay in the Premier Division, as far as we know, and then move on for a free back to Scotland, back to Hamilton. Puts in 2 decent shifts, 34 appearances in his final year, 2036-2037. 2 assists, player of the match, but still 6.42 average. At that point, the writing's kind of on the wall. Okay, might be a little bit behind the pace here. Time to get into coaching. And I mean, 2036-2037, so that would be 2 years ago from our end date of 2039 here. So he'd be 37 years old. He's still putting in shifts as a 37-year-old of Scotland. Of course he is. Well done, Drake Riot. That is one of our current coaches. One of our other coaches, the one, the only flag dude, the man whose sale, I still regret letting him go for so little, even though the Polish Saja Jagiellonia absolutely loved him for 10 years. He's now the head coach of NYCFC. Now that's pretty darn special for flag dude. Pulling in, $27,000 a week, no big deal for NYCFC. JPA, JPP, great, 10-9. Discipline's okay. Motivating, tactical, management, good determination and adaptability, though, which makes sense from, spending most of his time as an American overseas. No caps and no goals. I still can't get past. Dude was a stellar left back. How did he not get a call for his country? Absolutely unbelievable. Anyway, let's talk about his career, though. Let's talk about this, because that's great and all, but from the donors, 32 appearances, 7 assists, 6.76 average in his first year. Why did I sell him for only $200,000 to Southampton? Why? Just why? Never should have done it. Considering what I was if I had known what I was going to make for the NG sales, yeah, that wouldn't happen. But I'm getting ahead of myself. 3 years with Southampton, in which he did not make a single league appearance. Did make 2 cup appearances in 2017 and 2018. Absolute waste of talent. 7.9 average in those cup appearances. Southampton, what were you doing? Oh, that's right, wasting $200,000. Because he goes to York in League 2 and just shreds everyone. 7.63 and 7.64 averages in 71 appearances, a goal and 13 assists, 23 Player of the Match awards. Like, of course he's great. We knew he was great. And that's when he went to Poland for 925,000. Jagiellonia picking him up and getting the absolute best out of him in his first full season. And then they didn't really stop getting their best out of him. Like, this is just unreal stuff for a left back to consistently be above 7. Like, his lowest was 7.1 in 2028-29. Just, he could not be stopped. Even when he went on a loan stint to Hobro IK in Denmark. Hobro IK? Whatever. 7.08 average, 9 appearances, and assist in 2 Player of the Matches. The absolutely stellar left-back career for Flag Dude, and he is rightfully rewarded, I would say. If he couldn't get those national call-ups, he gets the big coaching gig at NYCFC, who are in May of 2039, currently sitting 18th in the Supporters' Shield. Oh dear. Oh dearie me, Flag Dude. Oh dearie, dearie me. Well, he's been there since 2038, so he's got his work cut out for him. Best of luck to you, Flag Dude. Moving on. NG, to whom the donors owe an endless debt of thanks and gratitude for his sale to Man United that really kicked off this whole, wow, we could make a metric whack ton of money and fund the team from now into the end of time. Now an assistant coach at his beloved Portland Timbers. Not the great JPP that you'd want. Fantastic determination, though. Good mental, good working with youngsters, good fitness. Not so sure about the man management or the tactical knowledge, but hey, he's making it happen, and he has been since 2035. So he's clearly a fixture at the club that he loves so dearly. So great reward for him in FM. Meanwhile, in his actual playing career, that's what we're here for. Oh, good golly. So while not the 7s across the board as we saw with Flag Dude, he still was an absolute terror for the donors, which got him his $3 million sale to Man United. Though this time I was smart enough to make sure he got a loan back deal. Still absolutely carved everyone to pieces in Scotland. The donors went up. NG moved on. He made 3 cup appearances for Man United, but never in the league. Got loaned out to Sheffield Wednesday. Did fine. Back to Man United. Again, still nothing. Got loaned out to the donors again. Season-long loan, 7.53 in the championship by this point are the donors, I like to point out. 5 assists to Player of the Match, so he's still fantastic. But he would then move on from Man United to Bristol City for $650,000, so not great business for Man United at all. Real waste of cash, but hey, Bristol City won't complain. They got him while he was in the championship, and they got the best out of NG. 2 seasons in the championship, get promoted, get relegated, get promoted, then get relegated again. Not fantastic, but let's look at the business end of this. $650,000 they grab NG for. They sell him for $2.8 million to Aston Villa, who stay in the Premiership. Not great business for Aston Villa, though. I mean, they get 27 appearances, a goal, assist, and a Player of the Match over 2 seasons. That's not great, especially when you let him go for a free to Greece, where he then just immediately thrashes the Greek Super League, because of course he thrashes the Greek Super League. Even goes to from PAS Giannina to Panachiaki, then goes to CS Mioveni in Romania, where, again, are we surprised that he's amazing? No, we are not. NG, the patron saint of Donors United, getting it done, and then being rewarded, I would say rightfully, with that wonderful Portland assistant coaching gig, and he still found time to get 87 caps and 6 goals for his country. Fantastic stuff, and thank you again to NG for being so much of making all of this, what it was. All right, now you can't write this kind of stuff. You can't write this. NG Wolfgamer becomes a scout for Wolves. Like, FM, sometimes you really do impress me. Even if you're FM16, you impress me, and I thank you for this. Good golly, what a scout. JPA, JPP, at least 14. Like, good grief. Wolves, if you don't start winning championships, I don't know what to say. I really don't, because you've got a world-class scout. How have they been doing, by the way? Let's just take a quick peek here and see what Wolves have done. They did not win the FA Cup this year, or the Capital One Cup. Let's see in the year prior. Again, I had a replay in the FA Cup in the 5th round. No. How about the year previous? This is about when NG's scouting would have had the first chance to take effect. No, not really. How have they been doing overall? Okay. So they come up, they get promoted, they hire NG, and they sit solidly low mid-table. Like low, bordering on relegation mid-table. Okay. Well, again, at least you got NG Wolfgamer, and really that's who we're here to see. We're here to talk about this scout by the name of NG Wolfgamer. What was his playing career like when he left the Donors? I mean, he first of all came out of the youth academy, and then immediately upon the loss of the original NG, just picked up where his namesake left off, tore the league to shreds in Scotland's League One after the promotion, gets sold to Everton for $3.3 million. Oh, you just can't keep a good guy down, can you? They, again, seem to fail to understand exactly what they had, paying $3.3 million, not even bothering to use him, but sending him out on 3 separate loan deals where he does prove that he, belongs and deserves a chance. Gets sold to Middlesbrough for peanuts, really, and they get 3 great seasons out of him. They then turn around and sell him for $5.25 million to Norwich. That's how you do business. Middlesbrough laughing all the way to the bank with the sale of NG Wolfgamer, who gave them 20 goals, or 20 appearances, 2 assists, 6.89, enough to bench. And this after 26 appearances with Middlesbrough that season, so moved during the transfer window, 4 goals and an assist there. Gets promoted, and then is rewarded with a cup appearance. So they couldn't even be bothered. Oh, he did get some international time, so that's great. But just couldn't even be bothered to get an appearance. Norwich, thanks. So they sell him for $4.5 million to Newcastle. 20 appearances, goal and an assist. They get promoted to the Premier Division. Finally, he gets some league appearances and cup appearances, which again, really feel like they underused the wonder that was NG Wolfgamer. Then goes on a free. Oh, Newcastle, what are you doing? To Crystal Palace, gets the job done. Goes to West Brom, helps again on a free, helps West Brom get promoted, and then relegated. We'll just quickly skip past that. But still, 2035, 2036, he's still putting out appearances for West Brom in League One, doing his absolute best. That's a fantastic career for NG Wolfgamer. 21 caps and a goal for Scotland to boot. Because again, we just reskinned him from a new gen, so we didn't get the full Donors build treatment. Still, turned out for his country, got stuff done. NG Wolfgamer still in it as the scout, perhaps most fittingly, for Wolves. Moving on, we have Rich TUK, who was recently sacked by Newtown, but is technically still valid as a head coach and still hoping somebody can pick him up. Oh, dearie me. Well, at least he's disciplined. Those are not great head coaching stats. I think I know why Newtown sacked you, buddy. I'm so sorry. Oof. Not great. Could be a good coach. Could be a real good coach. But not a heck of a lot else. Anyway, let's take a look at the important part here. Since his time with the Donors, he clearly showed potential and promise. Everton again swooped in, grabbed him on a loan deal. Didn't do a heck of a lot with him, so we kept him, and then sold him to Liverpool the following season for $650,000, which that's a decent return considering he did next to nothing with the Donors. I would have liked to keep him around for longer, considering what he's about to do, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Liverpool absolutely wasted him. Carlisle on loan, they did not. Liverpool again, they gave him two cup appearances, one as a start, one as a sub. That's okay. Then moves on a free, so you paid $650,000 for him, and you let him move on a free to Bournemouth. Sure, why not? They used him. Portsmouth in League One, they got some use out of him. And then finally, he lands at the New Saints in Wales, TNS, and just rips the league to shreds, as you would expect him to do. 14 and 29 in his first season, a career high of 24 in 29. You are not misreading that. 24 goals, 29 league appearances. Add in some more from Cup and Continental competition. Just absolutely 27 in 39 all told, if you include sub appearances, and you should. 3 of them, coming from the penalty spot. Rich TUK did his job in Wales. Never really got a chance with the donors, but my goodness, did TNS make the absolute most out of him. Pity he couldn't get it done at Newtown, but you never know. We stopped in 2039 with the sim. Maybe Rich TUK turns it around? I guess we'll never know. And finally, on our list of coaches still in this game, assuming that I made my notes correctly, and you never know these days, do you? The man, the myth, the legend, the great Canadian hope, 64 caps and 7 goals for his country, Stinsmaster! Currently a scout for Montreal Impact, a post he's held for the last 6 years. And on JPA 12, JPP 11, yeah! Keep that gig. Good job, Stinsmaster. A Donors United legend, Mr. Stinson. Of course you are. Of course you are. Let's take a look at how that legendary career played out here. He did the majority of it with the Donors. He was there for the League 2 days. He was there for the promotion to League 1. He was there for the promotion to the Championship. They stayed in the Championship as long as Stins was there. Once he was cooking in League 1, he never had a year where he was below 7. 2 rough years to start in League 2, 688 and 696. Still phenomenal. And then he just got better. His best would have been that first season in League 1, a 7.44. But even in the Championship, a 7.25, 4 goals, 6 assists, 5 player of the match. Just wonderful, wonderful stuff here from Stinsmaster, and rightfully so considered a legend by the Donors. I mean, that's what you call service. He then moves on for 44,000, which they even got some money out of him, which is okay, I guess, to Aris in Greece, where he put in 23 appearances. Not a heck of a lot happened. But then his free transfer to Hapoel Kfar Saba in Israel. And again, he's right back to the Stinsmaster of old. 36 appearances in both seasons, 7.23 and 7.25, 7 assists in both seasons. Like, that's legendary stuff right there. Stinsmaster was and is an absolute legend for the Donors. Totally fitting that he gets a second career as a staff member, as a scout with Montreal Impact. That's the least that Stins deserves. Just absolutely wonderful stuff for Stinsmaster, and good on you, buddy. All right, moving on now to the Donors that have sadly completely and totally retired, but we'll start in the A's with Ashley Grattan, our super striker, who also managed to get a gig as a head coach before calling it quits at the ripe old age of 40. I mean, you still have some time, Ashley, but I understand. Anyway, the point is, from Donors, banging in goals for fun for the Donors, 120 goals and 335 appearances as his career, the vast majority of them with the Donors during those promotion campaigns, eventually moving on to Fleetwood, Millwall, Luton, Bournemouth, and Coventry. Didn't get a chance with his country, though I guess when you can only get it done at the Donors, maybe not, the highest profile, but he scored goals when he needed to. He scored goals I believe everywhere he went. He scored at Millwall, he scored at Luton, scored at Bournemouth, Coventry. But then he's at the tail end of his career, and he's almost ready to move into coaching, so that, I suppose, makes sense. Let's take a look at that step history. He did spend 3 years with Billericay in the lower levels of England, then moved on to Lewis for a season. Again, that didn't work out, and 6 years later, he is totally and fully retired. And he's got some medals to his name, most of those, if not all of those, I believe, with the Donors. But hey, we will never forget the scoring sensation that was Ashley Grattan for Donors United. Well, this could have gone better. Break on, my brother. Sadly, while we did skin him in from a new gen over in the Donors, he never really got cooking ever. 7 appearances for the Donors. He moved on to Stoke and Everton, even had some time at Motherwell, but they just didn't know what to do with him. They just didn't. I mean, he was a prospect. We were pretty sure we could make something out of him, but Everton swooped in, made that deal, and just, you like to hope that they're going to figure this out. You really do, but sadly, at the age of 23, playing for Stoke and having absolutely nothing done, he just said, you know what, forget this nonsense, I'm done. I still think Bray could have played, in the many intervening years since 2025 and 2039, I'm sure Bray could have played at a lower level if he wanted. He started at the Donors, for goodness sakes. But ultimately, Bray decides to call it a career. Not the best one. FM can be cruel at times, can't it? Ah, yes, here's a face that's familiar to the donors. Our goalkeeper, Jamie J. 10 appearances for Ireland, so he was rewarded with some appearances by his country and plenty of silverware in his career, turning out for the donors, Partick Thistle, and the donors again, because why the heck not? Let's just take a look at this. Never got into coaching, but he did make a ton of appearances for the donors, especially, and you consider, by this point, they're in the championship, and he's making 30 appearances a season. So fantastic work. Goes into Partick Thistle, still making appearances, then comes back to the donors. And again, what can you say about Jamie J? He was there when we needed him to be. He's got the trophies to prove it. I mean, won the Challenge Cup with the donors, won League One with the donors, won the championship with Partick Thistle, won the League Challenge Cup again with the donors. This is a guy who knew how to win. Well done, Jamie J, for a fantastic career, 2015 to 2031, 15 seasons as a goalkeeper in Scottish football, and 10 caps for his country. Well done, Jamie J. Oh, right. This guy. Jamal Wood. Jamal Wood. Well, I suppose we shouldn't be too shocked to see that he only ever made 3 stops in his career. The donors, of course, then East Fife and Elgin City. Joined East Fife for 8K, so hey, we made money off of Jamal Wood, which is more than I can say about any other incarnation of Jamal Wood in history, let's be honest here. He was on the league winning sides in 2017 and 2019. And somehow, he made appearances all the way up to and including 10 appearances in the championship, plus 1 in his final year, and then making a handful of appearances with East Fife. But then, once he got to Elgin City, something clicked, I guess. Go figure. And 57 appearances and 3 goals in 2 seasons. That's more than I ever expected Jamal Wood to do. We all remember Jamal Wood. We don't need to get into it here, but wow, he actually did something in the final 2 years of his career. So he played for, 8 seasons? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 seasons, excuse me. Oh, I suppose, no, that is 9, because that one doubled up. He transferred mid-season, so that is 9. I can do math occasionally. Played 9 seasons, got some stuff done, 132 appearances, and then did not get into coaching. Can you imagine Jamal Wood as a coach? Ooh, let's not think about it. Let's just move on. Hey everybody, it's Churchy, John Churchman. Look at that, he had himself a decent career, didn't he? Split between England and Scotland. Let's just break it down here. 368 appearances, 23 goals as a midfielder. Started off slow with the donors, including a lone stint to Corby, but he really picked up. Lone stint to Colwyn Bay was easily his best one. 40 appearances, 4 goals, where he proved he could get it done. By that point, though, the donors were in the championship, and he just wasn't able to keep that level. Moves on to Basingstoke. East Fife for 20 appearances and 2 goals. Bradford, PA gets some loan time with him, and then he continues actually quite nicely with East Fife. The Fifers are going to be happy with that one. 4 solid seasons. Moves on to Stranraer for 4 more solid seasons, and then ending it off with Queen of the South. Didn't get into coaching, but he still made a very solid amount of appearances in Scottish football with loan time back to his native England. Pretty serviceable lower tier player. You don't have to be an all-star to have a long career. You just have to be where you need to be. And Churchy figured out exactly where he needed to be, made those appearances count. Well done, John Churchman. I'm not going to lie to you. I still have remorse and regret and embarrassment when I think about how I did not click the trigger contract extension button on Jorge Mendoza. He moves on to Murciélagos, where, again, pulls down some personal hardware. I mean, yeah, of course he would. He made 8 caps, scored a goal for his country, but in a career that only lasted from 2015 to 2024, so, 8 seasons worth of soccer. 3 of those spent with the donors, 5 of them spent in Murciélagos, and then that last year where really nothing happened. He was fantastic. An absolute rock on the backline. Was rewarded with personal accolades. Defender of the tournament. Player of the tournament. Jorge Mendoza. Fantastic stuff on the backline. And then just is it 31? He's done in soccer? Really? Really? He's done at 31? No, he could have kept going if he'd gone back to the donors, or hey, if we'd kept him, he could have been bouncing around wherever the heck he wanted, for goodness sakes. He was good. Oh, if only I had clicked that trigger contract extension button. What might have been. Which, of course, is why we just had to. I mean, Jorge did donate to get this to happen, but we had to put Jorge Mendoza back on the donors, keep him in-house, and so he came back to Donors United. He had some loan stints, including some time at Bruxburn Athletic, 34 appearances and a goal, which is quite nice. But then once he finally did starting to turn out for the Donors, some loan stints in there, Clyde, he proved he could get it done. He was starting to really heat up. But by that point, I think we finished the active part of the series, and he did move on. So, as expected, he had himself one heck of a career, playing until he was 34 or 35. So he could have kept going. Turning out for Elton City, Peterhead, Airdrie, Kilmarnock, Livingston, Partick Thistle, St. Mirren, and Ayr. I believe his best appearances would be 37 for Airdrie, which he matched with Ayr, a mere 9 seasons apart. Like, my goodness. And again, not to harp on what could have been with Jorge Mendoza I, but seeing Jorge Mendoza II have a lengthy career, maybe not to the level of his predecessor, no caps for his country, no playing in Mexico, nothing like that, but he's still a fantastic defender, and I'm glad to see that at least his second incarnation got the longer career that he absolutely deserved. Well, if I'm going to talk about one half of the From the Backline duo, I might as well talk about the other. Marc Daly, 103 appearances and 6 goals for his country. That's 2 donors. Turning out great for Canada. Daly and Stins doing great work for the Maple Leafs. Allez les Rouges. Meanwhile, on the club level, he did not get into coaching, but he played for the donors. He went for a stint at Reading before coming back and actually getting stuff done for the donors. He did move on to his beloved Manchester United, and I know Daly loves the Red Devils, but they clearly did not love him, though a loan to Bradford City was at least decent. Went on to AFC Wimbledon, did a little bit, and then went to Netherlands, and now things start happening for Marc Daly. De Graafschap makes great use of him and realize what a talent they have. Ajax picks him up, and they realize what a great talent they have. That's 2033 from 2027. 5 seasons, 6 years with Ajax. Pretty darn good, before finishing off with Platanias in the Greek Super League. I mean, that's a pretty solid 77 appearances for them as well, from 2033 to 2037. Great stuff, including, look at this, he's lifted the Eredivisie in 2028, 2030, and 2031, with Ajax, and the Dutch Super Cup, and the Dutch Cup. Just look at all of the silverware. Well done, Marc Daly. And look at that. You got to be with your 2 beloved teams, Man United and Ajax. Look at that, Marc. FM loves you, buddy. Moving down under now, it's our Birdie, the player who just never really fit in anywhere we tried him at the donors. Goodness knows I tried to make him fit. Goodness knows I did. 18 appearances and 1 more during the League 2 campaign. 3 goals, including a loan to Perth Glory for the first part of the League 1 campaign, which he was then back for. Then turned out for the championship years, first 2 of them anyway. The loan stint in Avondale. At that point, we ceased having control over him, and then he was moved, or he moved himself, perhaps, might have been more accurately. Moved on to Adelaide City, and now suddenly, in 2021, a mere 6 years after starting his career as a professional, he finally gets that breakout I would argue he long deserved. 34 appearances in 5 of 6 years in Australia. Excellent stuff for the left midfielder. Didn't really get the goals, but I do recall him having a penchant for finding assists even in limited minutes. I think I'm remembering that correctly. Regardless, that's pretty good. 243 appearances, 12 goals, picking up the vast majority of that in the last 6 years of his professional career. Ultimately deciding not to go into coaching, but still I am glad to see that after a rocky start with the donors, our Birdie eventually found what he was looking for when he left the donors and went back home. Ah, yes, Snorlax, the great Ukrainian. Never turned out for his country, but turned out 257 times, scoring 14 goals for the donors. He was the veteran even when he started. I mean, born in 87, so if I just do some quick math here, it's 3 to 13 at the millennium, so he's already 28 when he started with the donors, 27 or 28, he still found his way to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 solid years with the donors, which means he was there for League 1, or he's there for League 2, there for League 1, and there for the championship still, even until his final year, which I'm guessing his legs finally gave out from under him. He was still scoring goals, putting in shifts, and making his presence known. Snorlax deserving, absolutely, of having been part of those championship-winning teams, of having won the challenge or the League Challenge Cup. I mean, you always need a solid veteran presence to anchor things, and as the defensive midfielder, I mean, we couldn't have asked for more out of Snorlax. Well done, and thank you for your service to Donors United. Yes, the third incarnation of NG Wolfgamer. After the first two moved on to pastures greener, undeterred was NG himself, and he added Talls to the game, his brother. And while Talls had an interesting start to his Donors career, he did get 27 appearances and a goal, though he was being sniffed at by plenty of other sides. Eventually, Fulham came knocking for him, and did nothing with him. Sadly, seemed to have been a pattern with the Premier League teams that came in for the Donors. Wrexham, Notts Co, Barry, Birmingham, they all had a little bit of a sniff at him, but it wasn't until Spartak Nalchik came along, and suddenly Talls became the greatest thing to happen to Romania for, look at this, from 2025 to 2034. For 9 years, he absolutely rampaged all over Romania as a central midfielder before finishing his career in Denmark with OB. So let's just look at five trophies he's pulled up here. Let's just have a look here. So he's got the Romanian First League in 2033, then the Romanian Cup, the Romanian Super Cup, and the Romanian League again. Fantastic stuff. And oh, by the way, he was on the USA U20 team that won the U20 World Cup in 2021. So yeah, he was good. Follow-up question, why exactly was he on a cup-winning team but never senior capped for his country? Also, why did it not say that he actually had U20 caps when he very clearly did? Like, was he just on the team but never played? Oh, I have to go back and look at that now. That's a bit odd. Regardless, Talls, NG's third kick of the can, and this one made his mark in Romania. And finally, last but certainly not least, it's Ville Bonen, our Finn right back. Let's have a look at his career. He did not stay long enough to get into coaching, or maybe he just wasn't interested in it. But he started with the Donors, 12 appearances and a goal in the promotion campaign to League One, then made sporadic appearances during the League One campaign. He went over to Airdrie, actually. I don't know if that was a season-long loan or a transfer. It might actually say here. It does not, actually. But regardless, he came back to the Donors for their championship years. Did not make a single appearance. But then went on to Yippo because, you can't keep a good guy away from his home country. Made a decent amount of appearances for Yippo, even scoring 8 goals for them. So there you go. Ville didn't have the longest career. I'm sure he would have loved to have hung around for longer. Only 29 when he finally gives up the game, gives up the playing career anyway. Doesn't get the staff career. But Ville, we remember you well, buddy. You made it happen on right back. And glad to see you got to go home and play some football on home soil. So what of those Donors United? Like the actual club itself. Well, currently they sit in League One, so they have since been relegated. 5th place finish means they will be staying in League One for the 2039-2040 season. But what did they do in the meantime? Well, I mean, they only won the Scottish U20 Cup 3 times and runner-up once. They won the Scottish U20's group 5 times, runner-up 5 times, 3rd place 5 times. Good job, Youth Academy, churning out the products. They won the League Challenge Cup 3 times. They won League 2 once, and because they haven't been back. They won League 1 once. They were runners-up twice. They were 3rd place twice. So, yeah, the Donors definitely made their mark in the lower half of Scottish football with authority, and I still think that with, the right players in place, they could make their way back up to the championship. I mean, as it stands right now, these are all pretty much new gens. There's nobody really left that we would recognize. Certainly with all the Donors retired, it's all new people from here on out. But I mean, not a horrible side. This Richard Sim kid, 7.29 in 35 appearances. That's a Pretty darn solid, kid. Nicely done. I say kid, he's 28, but you get what I mean. That's clearly where they're making their money here. They've gone back to a traditional sort of 4-4-2 setup, flat 4-4-2 instead of the diamond that I had drilled into donors during their time. I'll just briefly click back here through the schedule and see what they did, if they did any European competition. Let's see. Did you guys, while you were, they did a testimonial for Fulton. Isn't that nice? Did they play any European competition? Ideally, while they were in the championship. League One, League One, League One, League One, League One, championship. Testimonial for Burns. Excellent. I'm not seeing any European competition here. Darn. You always hope that, and then League One. Now we're getting back to, oh yeah, so they went down and up. Is that right? Ooh. Yeah, they did go down and up. There's the Stinsmaster testimonial against Chesterfield. And a George testimonial as well. But good for that. Stin's got a testimonial from the donors. Thank goodness. Still no European competition, though. I don't think they would have any other shots at it. So we just go back in time here over the years. No, I'm not seeing it, I don't think. Unless I've skipped over it entirely. You never know. I think, and then now we're back into the League 2s at the very beginning here. So yeah, that's where we are for Flag Dude, reading the right side of the page here. That's where we are for Donors United. They did what they needed to do, and they currently sit in League 1, 5th in League 1. So promotion is going to be an interesting bit of an ask in the years to come. But you know what? I have hope. Even if I might not see it, I got a hope in the Donors. But that's it for me. Thank you very much, everybody, for being patient, waiting for this darn final epilogue episode to come out, and a big, massive thank you to the donors themselves. I've listed all 18 of you, I hope, in this episode. If I didn't get to you, if I missed you, please leave a comment, leave a message, and we'll go figure out what happened to you and have another look. But I'll say them all by name right now here. Snorlax, Birdie, Jorge Mendoza the 1st and 2nd, Billy Bonin, Jamie J, Ashley Grattan, Stinsmaster, Jamal Wood, John Churchman, Flag Dude, Jamal Wood was me, but you get the idea. John Churchman, Flag Dude, Drake Riot, NG Wolfgamer, NG, Marc Daly, Braycon, Rich TUK, and Talls. Thank you all so much for making Donors United what it was. My name is Arturo. You've been watching Donors United. Thank you all so much for watching, everybody. Bye-bye.